So a common issue with the C8 Corvette is that the rear trunk gets pretty hot, but I think I found a solution to fix that problem, so that's what we're gonna go over in today's video. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So today we're gonna be going over something that I think is going to make a huge difference on keeping the temperature down in that rear trunk. It's a common issue among all the different C8s, mostly because you have that exhaust right underneath that trunk area, and it just heats up the whole entire area pretty well. So this right here is going to be the solution for that, and it is from TKO Performance, and it is their Bucket Light Heat Shield that you can get for the C8 Corvette. And basically what this is exactly what you think. It's a heat shield that goes underneath the trunk lining on the C8 Corvette. Now TKO states that this will reduce the amount of heat in your trunk space by about 30 degrees, which is a pretty significant amount. I'm really happy to try this out for my C8 because honestly before that, all my cold groceries were going in the front, and then anything else is just kind of put in the back. So it'd be nice to be able to kind of more evenly distribute what I want to put in and not have to worry about heat issues. So let's take a look at what you get inside the box and go from there. Alrighty, so opening this up. And what we have is basically a nice, neatly rolled up piece of insulation, which is automotive insulation. And with that, you also get an instruction manual that'll tell you exactly how to install it. But we're going to show you the process of how to install this on your seat if you're interested as well. Now, the idea with this piece is that you take the trunk lining off of your rear trunk, which is super easy to do, and then you line it with this insulation, and it's a very thin layer that acts as a heat shield for there. Now, this piece is double-sided in regards to it already has adhesive already on there. All you have to do is just trim it to the size that you need and then just apply it on there like a sticker. So super easy to do. It's not going to leave any kind of bumps on the trunk lining when you go and reinstall it. And as of recording of this video, this retails for about $125. This stuff is automotive grade and is able to withstand the high temperatures around the actual trunk area. You don't want to use it for any other areas aside from that, but this will work very nicely. But we are going to see how well it does, and to do that, we're actually going to be using a little heat gun that I had purchased in order to see the differences in the heat. And we're going to look at the difference before installing this on the car and after to see how much of a temperature difference that's going to be. So essentially a before and after to see how much of a difference. So let's go check that out. So alrighty guys, so we've had the car idling for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna go check out how warm the actual rear trunk is without the liner installed. And then we can compare it to afterwards to when it is installed. Now it's kind of hard to do like a controlled test on this. It's about 53, 54 degrees today. So depending, I might try to do the next part of this test tomorrow around the same time so I get about the same conditions as I can and go from there. But let's go check out the temperatures inside this trunk. So alrighty, let's do this. So opening up the trunk, and then we're gonna quickly just read the temperature in here and let's see what we get. So we're getting about 80 degrees or so from temperatures inside there. There's like 76, 73. Yeah, 73. I'm trying to do this quickly because obviously the temperature out here is going to start changing this rear trunk, but we're seeing about 70. Now that the temperature has kind of come out of here, it's about 73 degrees or so, but initially we were hitting 80 degrees in here. So it was about 80 degrees in this rear trunk, and this is on a 53 degree day. So just imagine how much warmer this trunk would be if we were, you know, on a hot day, like you would see in Texas summers where it reaches over 100 degrees. So definitely would be a significant amount of difference. So it definitely would get pretty hot in here, especially if you're trying to have some groceries here in the back. Yeah, we're seeing like 75, 76 in like the furthest parts here. So that's pretty warm. And yeah, it's no figure that the rear trunk gets pretty hot there. I remember when I first got my C8, I didn't know that, and I actually, one of the first things I did after I got my C8 was go to the grocery store, and I put all the groceries in the back, feeling so happy and smug with myself. And then I got home and everything that was frozen was ruined. And I was thinking to myself, what in the hell? I bought this car and the rear trunk is basically useless if you're trying to do groceries and stuff. But I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, you kind of learn with it. From then on, all the frozen stuff goes into the front, and then everything else that can stay in the back and be warm safely go in the back. So all my toilet paper and stuff like that, you know, that stuff. So now that we have our baseline, let's get this installed on the C8 and see how much of a difference it makes. So alrighty guys, so we have installed the blockade heat shield on the C8 Corvette. Now before I had turned on this car, it was sitting in the garage throughout the whole night, and the temperature inside the garage, it had it around 68 degrees inside that actual rear trunk. So we're starting off with a 68 degree starting temperature on here, and I should have caveated that a little bit better when I did the baseline. So the baseline, when we did that test, the trunk was about 65 or so, 68 degrees. Even though it was like a 53 degree day outside, the trunk itself, I checked it before, it was about the same temperature. So we're about the same temperature overall. And that temperature went from 68 degrees or so to about 75, 80 degrees. So we're gonna look at it more as a percentage difference between the two, rather than like a 30 degree difference like that manufacturer was saying. I do believe that it can reduce the temperature by 30 degrees, but I think you need a very specific criteria in order to be able to hit that. Mostly that there is just a significant difference between what is seen on the outside, like maybe on a really, really hot day, and just a regular normal day. But in any case, we're gonna look at the percentage difference. So about 65 degrees on the baseline, and it went up to, let's say, 75 degrees on the conservative side. We did see temperatures around 80, but 75. So let's say 10 degrees difference there on the baseline. So we're gonna look now and see what the difference is between now that we have the heat shield on, and see how much of a temperature increase there is under the same circumstances of it been idling for about 12-15 minutes. Alrighty, so opening up the trunk, and I had a little temperature gauge already in here, and it's showing about 71 degrees, which is pretty good. So let's use the little heat measuring gun, just kind of get a little feel for the temperature. And we're seeing 72.6. Yeah, about 72.6, 71, 71, 69.4. See, let's go a little bit deeper, see where 73 degrees. Okay, so not too bad. So we're seeing about from 68 degrees or so as a starting temperature. The highest is from there is about 5 degrees. So if we're looking at a percentage difference, it's about 50% improved efficiency in here based off of the baseline, like from the baseline kind of deal, which is pretty good. Obviously, this is probably the wrong time to do this test. It should be really done in the summer when it gets really hot here in Texas, especially. So we're gonna do this test again in like 6 months, because it's around the holidays now, and see how much of a difference this is. But I do see a significant difference, and about a 50% decrease in the temperature we're seeing in the rear trunk, which is pretty significant. I think that is really, really good for what this is. Now the install itself is pretty straightforward. It's you're literally just cutting it into place, and it just sticks on like a sticker, so it's not hard at all to do. I will say I did use every last bit of that heat shield on when I was placing it on mine. So I could have used like maybe a little bit more, just to, if I wanted to be a little bit more stickler about how much I'm using. I mean, I tried to get as reasonably precise and try to get every nook and cranny I could. But if you're just trying to be very nonchalant and just kind of put it on as a single piece and maybe just a few extra pieces on there, it might not fit all the different spots that you can. So I probably would say that it could use maybe another 6 inches of extra material to work with. But overall though, you're getting quite a good amount of heat blocking from this, so it is very effective. And also, by the way, I'm not sure if it's getting caught on the camera, it has been raining the last few days, so my C8 is pretty filthy right now, and I need to get it washed probably tomorrow when it's actually sunny. Today is, and the last few days have just been gross as hell. So in any case, so I'll have links in the description below so you can check out this product if you're interested in it. I think it's a really good deal, especially for you, for what you get, and it's pretty easy to just do at home in the garage kind of deal. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please check out any of my other videos, and we'll see you next time.